We love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Under my umbrella. All right, how's it going today? Man, this one looks like a fun one. Oh, Chris. Man, what's up, by the way? AJ Stone, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships right out the gate. Thank you, folks. Liz, thank you also for 5 gifted memberships. And also Laura, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. 15 gifted memberships right out the gate. I feel like the Count on Sesame Street. One. No, thank you guys. I appreciate that. Seriously. I got a, you want to see something interesting? I think I'll talk about this a bit more in depth, maybe tomorrow after we see a little bit more of what happens. But Netflix is leading right up to their new documentary series, the JD versus AH Chronicles. They's a flagging, baby. This is the same company that took dozens of people's likenesses took live streams, stuck it in a promo, slapped it out there for the world to see. If you responded, if you say anything about it, it plays on any of the promo, including your portions of that promo. Copyright claim. I'm going to fight it, of course, but isn't that interesting? Isn't it interesting how companies take your stuff and they're like, no, that belongs to me. That's mine. That's mine, baby. It's like, no, it's not how it works. Fallen, thank you for the gifted membership too. Thank you. It's Fallen, Laura, AJ, Liz, and Z. Thank you. There's that's awesome. Like I said, 17 gifted memberships. I gotta stop doing that. But it's fascinating. If you haven't seen that, it's coming the 16th. Now, also, I did something. So I talked about this yesterday. We'll get into the Chris Bouzy stuff in just a minute. I'm letting a little bit of this build. I actually shortened the intro a little more today because I was running behind again. I'm ready. You might as well figure I'm gonna start 5 minutes late. That's just probably that's probably the go-to these days. 5 minutes, 10 on a really rough day, kids and stuff. But I talked about a hit list yesterday that came out right before all of this. It had 60 plus YouTubers in it. Well, guess what? It actually got saved. So we have the entire hit list there. It's got a lot of people. Now it leaves out people like Law and Lumber. He didn't make the list. That's sad. He should have made the list for sure. I hate to say that because they say the worst. They try to ruin your life, but I'm still like, well, if we're being fair, people that made an impact. But I mean, they're all people. I mean, they tried to go after everybody. And when I say everybody, I'm talking about going after like streamers, and other folks. Also, I'm going to ask Ian Runkle about this. Now, I want you to do something. Tomorrow I'm thinking about looking over a video he put together. I'm going to ask him if he's good with that, because I typically don't like going over people's video content, but his is a good exception because what he's been doing. Okay, so if you didn't know this, the transcripts to the Depp Heard trial came out, and they have all the sidebars in them. So the parts that you can't hear, either in the courtroom, they play white noise, they flood the area white noise, or they cut off our sound, when we were sitting there. That would be the times that we talk through stuff, right? Well, Runkle has been taking the sidebars and putting them together with stuff. Now, those are fascinating, but the one he did on Eve Barlow, my God, if you thought what she did there was bad, when you link it up to what you haven't heard, oh, it's nasty stuff. It is nasty business. It exposes it to the entire world. So I'm going to talk to Runkle about going through that because I'm going to suggest all of you go and watch it, and then we'll go through it. I mean, he did a superb job of lining up court features with it and stuff. It's good. What he's doing with those series of taking that. I thought about doing sidebars, but I didn't think about like going through actual footage, finding the place it was at, and putting it together. Like Ian, he went above and beyond, and it, like I said, it makes a great thing. And there were so. Let me see how to say this. Of course, there were certain people that were already in the courtroom that we knew about, but there were people that you might not know that were in that courtroom too, and that talked about what happened and everything else. And it's just fascinating when you put all of that together. I talked to somebody that was in the courtroom that day that discussed a lot of what transpired. I talked about it. I talked about some of that during trial times, but like I said, it's not rehashing old trial issues. It's new stuff because again, when the transcripts came out, they had all the sidebars in them. And it's fascinating how nasty, how dirty they tried to play. Like how crazy Elaine is too. I mean, she is bat crazy. It's like, wow. Oh, and it still didn't work. So I thought about doing that too. But like I said, I'm gonna hit him up just to make sure, if he's like, I very much doubt he'll be like, hell no, don't do that. But if he did for some reason, I mean, it is what it is, you know. But I do I like I've only streamed with him a little bit anyway. I actually he would be somebody I think that would be fascinating to interview too. Spoutable. If you haven't heard this is probably one of the most interesting things I've ever heard. And depending on how this goes, we could actually I thought about calling this stream The Fall of Chris Bouzy. Because this right here, depending on how this plays out, this could be the fall of Chris Bouzy right here. It exposes a lot of things anyhow. But it's happening on a Bouzy has gotten into crypto scamming and all kinds of other craziness in the past. Wired covered that. Other people have talked about it. His own partner at the time talked about that stuff. But he wasn't known at the level he is now. Now, with all his mainstream accolades he got, you couldn't say that this guy would ever have a fall before when he had all of his mainstream buddies patting him on the back. And, they still do. I mean, just yesterday, Marlo Stern of Rolling Stone threw him into an article, that was a hit piece on myself and other folks, basically trying to relitigate the Depp trial as Netflix, as that documentary series comes up. But you've seen many of them turn on him because of Spoutable. And this just makes it even worse. Why? Well, Bouzy is pushing a equity crowdfunding idea. What he wants to do essentially is he wants to get investors, people to pay for part of freaking of a platform that is not performing at the levels that he himself, he was shopping. In fact, the numbers are indeed available. They're available in a few different ways, but they've been posted. I mean, if anybody's curious, you can actually keep up with that, and many people do. And you're talking about around 200,000 users on the platform. Not the insane numbers that were being shopped. 200,000. I mean, that's a big difference from the numbers you were hearing. Give me a second. I'll pull those up. Just give me 1 minute. I have to scroll to find it real quick. I thought I had it pulled up here, but I apparently did not. What I do, it's funny. Like while I'm setting up during like lunch breaks or something, I'll email myself all of the posts and everything that I want to check out. That I want to show you. And sometimes when I get here, I have to pull them all up because if I screenshot them, I've noticed this weird thing. I've noticed that I leave stuff behind. So I'm gonna handle it different. Here it is. All right. So here's a post. I actually want to give the person who posted this credit, and then we'll talk about the potential scam that this thing is. But if you look at this is the number of Spoutable users. This is with everything pretty much you can pull out of the woodwork and say, hey, these are improvements. We're talking about a platform. Remember, they're talking about 1 million freaking users. Like, oh, it's gonna be real fast, baby. It's gonna be real fast. Yeah, it has 200,000, and it looks like it's trying to. You've got to remember in the beginning, through those times, it had push for multiple mainstream users. It had the push of communities of folks. Bouzy basically, he leveraged every buzzword he could find. He leveraged entire quote unquote communities. Communities that have since turned on him. In fact, the funny thing is, even so, one of the things that he really leveraged hard was the idea of the quote unquote black community coming in. Well, check this out. Here's some wonderful comments about how Spoutable ain't safe for black people. Oh my God. What day. Like here's Spoutable thread. Again, this is about the thing we're going to talk about too. The equity crowdfunding platform idea. Why would you go this route instead of getting ads like every social media site? I mean, you could easily get the ones fleeing from Twitter. But what do I know? I'm just a dumb troll. And that's because, he keeps calling anybody that doesn't sound up in this correctly, calls them trolls, of course. He puts out a survey asking about this. He deletes comments that he doesn't like. He's banning people for saying, hey, we don't like this. Oh, you're going to put out a survey. He's like, don't tell anybody what you say, though, because he knows he's going to get some negative commentary. And he's deleting that and banning people for it. So, of course, I feel like venting. The douche on Spoutable. They called me a troll on a brand new page for gaming and poetry, quote unquote, apologize, saying people just get overprotective of the site. Give me a break. It's social media. It's not your kid. Stop attacking people who you disagree with. I just like, what?
The toilet was down and somebody put oil on my toilet.
They put what in it? Hey, Elizabeth, will you see what she's talking about? Will you go look and see what she's talking about, please?
Go look in the bathroom.
Go with her, please, and see what she's talking about.
Go look in the bathroom.
Who knows what she's talking about? She's like, somebody put something in her toilet. She had a little toilet. Who knows? Something. She's like, somebody's put something in my toilet. Go see what she is talking about, please. she was the little one was hitting the oldest one's leg. She kept hitting her, like, go up the stairs, go upstairs. She said, I'm fixing to punch her. Oh Lord. She's like, somebody put something in my toilet. Anyway, all right, let's continue. I miss a few people on Spoutable, so I made a page for Sims and poetry. 4 white people attacked me, calling me a troll. And then I got this. This site is no safe place. This is the problem, man. You don't want to create echo chambers because ultimately, people who want an echo chamber, they want an individual echo chamber. And they're going to get pissed off about anything. And you especially don't want a Chris Bouzy made echo chamber because Chris Bouzy made echo chamber is, it's not going to work. It's started by a black man, but it's obvious the white people here, they don't want black people here. This is also what happens when you buzzword a lot. It happens. People are like, yo, yeah, it was started by, but this happened with me and as and basically that's how it happens. You're like, oh no, as a black man. Oh wait, well, it's a black woman. I don't feel safe on your platform. It's like, whoops, wait a minute. How do I get back at the top of the buzzword heap? He's like, well, I work out of a kitchen. I was their best supporter for that dumb site. I convinced popular simmers to go to Spoutable. I talked it up constantly. I convinced my wife and friends to go there. And I'm treated like shit and bullied by the immature users for being independent and talking about poverty. This is not how you treat people when you're a small indie site. You're not that big or good. I don't care if you're Democrats or BLM in your bio. You don't tone police, attack, bully a black woman on a safe place. You don't suspend the victim of bullying on your safe place site. You don't do it. You just don't. So apparently they got banned. They got banned because, again, it is a bullying clusterfuck. It is. It's basically, we've seen Elon Musk go after a couple of people here and there, but not in a while. Could you imagine, like, every single person that said something about Musk. Could you imagine if you went after every single one of them? Because that's Chris Bouzy. And yeah, it doesn't work. So his new idea is equity crowdfunding. Let me pull all of this up here. All right. And there will be two things. First, there will be, I'll show you the survey. First, I'm going to show you the screenshots. Then I'm going to show you the survey. Okay. So, and again, this is coming from a guy that, well, he doesn't have the best, let's just say he doesn't have the best reputation for pulling together stuff. So, yeah, if you believe him, I got some shares for a site to sell you too. I mean, seriously, what the hell? Okay, here we are. I got you. All right. So we recognize now you see the startup. Look, a graph. A graph that looks like, it looks like something you put together in intro to computing. Startup, shares, investors, investments, equity crowdfunding platform. Da-da-da. This is his push here. We recognize the dedication and effort our users invest in amplifying the platform's popularity, and we believe they deserve to be stakeholders in our success. Here's what we've been working on for months now. Now, you know what this tells me, by the way? It tells me, remember he did an interview with Wired, and he was talking about, it really sounded like the end game plan was going to be to try to sell Spoutable to a larger investor, which that makes sense, to be honest. That sounds like the Bouzy MO, get out while the getting out's good. It would have been it would have been a mess. There's, like I said, there's proof. He can deny all the numbers he wants, but I mean, people legitimately know. I know very much those numbers are correct. I 100% know those numbers are correct. So with his claims and stuff on user base, no, they are right, 100%. They didn't just like make a graph or get it wrong or anything else. No, it is indeed right. It is 100%. But he says, here's what we've been working on for months. Again, this isn't a new idea. For months now. Let us know what you think. And that's fascinating considering this is the guy who's he's been asking for investment in the platform repeatedly. He's been asking people to contribute behind the scenes, to give private donation to the platform. But this was the plan? Because if that was the plan, why not just have them invest before? Oh, because you can't get as much money out of them. I gotcha. Some are asking about bad actors, etc. Legally, there are limits and safeguards. So someone like Elon, why would Elon want to buy this piece of shit platform? I mean, seriously. Oh, man, Elon's going to hurry in and get our platform. No. Come on. I mean, really. That's just what he needs, a dead platform, right? If he wanted to do something like that, he would start his own. He bought an established platform. Like him, hate him, he bought an established platform. He's not going to go out and he's like, hey, let me sift through the garbage. Basically, it's kind of like the runoff of Twitter after we've diverted the water, by the way. Moreover, I would still own the majority of the company. Lastly, per SEC rules, there's a full financial audit of the company. He also tells people, don't tell people how you vote. By the way, we're going to look at the thing, and we're going to look at some of the other response. Please don't spout how you voted. It defeats the purpose of anonymous survey, and it also influences others. Yeah, he doesn't want people being like, yo, this is an absolute garbage idea, Chris. What are you doing, dude? He doesn't want anybody saying that. So, of course, he's like, you got to keep it under your hat. You got to keep it sacred. So here's the survey. Equity crowdfunding survey. At Spoutable, our primary objective has always been to prioritize the interests and welfare of our community.
What you was talking about?
What was it?
I have good news, bad news, and another good news.
Oh, okay. What is it? Just here.
The good news is Audia poops in the potty. The bad news is that she's smearing the carpet and on the toilet.
Oh, great.
The good news is I got it out.
Great. Thank you.
You think I'm going to let
Lord.
Audia do something like that?
Oh, well, I'm glad you all say this stuff live too. Thank you. Thank you. That's really lovely. All right, thanks.
And I'm not lying.
I don't think you're lying. I'm sure you all caught that. Thank you for bathroom updates from a 4-year-old. She's potty training. You heard that? I got good news, bad news, and good news again. Good news is she used the potty. Yay. Bad news is she used everything else. No. Good news is I cleaned it. No, I disinfected it. Thank you. It's like, oh my God. They're hilarious. They are. They're part of the show, man. I mean, this is who I am. You know, that's one of the things I'm at peace with. You know, that is who you know. Yeah, I could run it. I'm not a. I don't want to be a journalist. I don't want to be. You know, there are some good. I streamed with Andrew Gold yesterday. Very good, professional. You could tell. You know, still has all that professional in there. Very good stuff. You know, I'm like, yes, they're your provider. Me, I just I want to roll with the punches. Like whatever happens, because I don't care. It's funny. Anyway, let's continue. Recognizing the dedication and effort our users invest in amplifying the platform's popularity, we believe they deserve to be stakeholders in our success. You can tell that the well is running dry. When you see that, you know, it looks like the well is probably beached right now. Oh, yeah, we know you've invested a lot of time in that. Well, maybe if we do this, maybe we can get a little bit more traffic if we sell part of it to you, and then we can dump it on you. To this end, we are currently in advanced discussions with a prominent equity crowdfunding platform. Now that's, yeah, we are in discussions with, there are many places out there that will allow you to take a business and sell stake in it. Many of them. They don't require you having discussions. They have some rules that they set down. You're supposed to follow certain compliance efforts. You know, yeah, it mentioned opening the financial books. You know, again, you're going to have to follow some SEC regulation. It'll be fascinating to see, like, when people buy share in that, if Bouzy, you know, when he bans somebody from the platform that they own a stake in. That'd be funny. It's gonna be funny when something like this happens and somebody ends up, you know, either buying or somebody messaged me. They were like, "Hey, what if I gifted you some Spoutable?" I was like, "Well, I don't really need that." They were like, "Wouldn't it be funny? Because you know you're permaban, you know, like they won't even let you on that site." And that's what's gonna happen. Yeah, but again, it's a scam. Unless he's selling it for 12 cents a freaking. It's a funny novelty, but God knows what he's going to try to. They're going to try to. Again, just it feels like it's pulling a fast one. It feels like another scam to me. This collaboration will provide our valued, and remember, I'm just looking at the evidence here. Remember, Chris Bouzy has a problem with everybody and their mama online calling this fucking scam and making it really loud there too. Well, remember, I mean, that's the same thing he was saying about people like Nate the lawyer. Oh, well, Nate. That's just words, baby. Based on, okay, well, right here's the link. This is the evidence. This is what we're talking about here. And again, if you want to check out that Wired article, they talk about the crypto scamming in the past. They're the ones that put it. There's plenty of allegations about that, but they put it in print. They made sure, and he shared it everywhere. He was proud of it. He was like, look at me, look at me. And I was like, yeah, people are looking at you, buddy. But anyway, this collaboration will provide our valued users with a unique opportunity to acquire a share in Spoutable, thereby directly benefiting from its growth and prosperity. Benefiting. How are they going to benefit? I mean, honestly. I mean, this is a place like Bouzy's saying, man, I'm funding this pretty much out of pocket. That's what he keeps saying. I'm like, okay, well, it's if it's not making any money, how is people dumping money into it going to benefit them at all? I mean, it's not like Twitter at least gives you the illusion of that. I'm going to say unless you're a giant account. I mean, I'm talking giant, pumping out like political shit all the time, divisive shit that gets a lot of attention. You're not going to see anything. But Twitter at least says, well, we're going to give you ad revenue sharing. The more you participate, the more you can get. That's incentivizing. This is not incentivizing. Oh, well, this dumpster fire that won't grow. Well, if you invest money in it, we know you already put in the effort. You're one of the people that you believe in the buzzword. You believe in the safe space. You believe in the herd. You believe in the pay grift. You believe in the Markle. You believe in all that. When you believe in the Bouzy, you got to believe in the Spoutable too, baby. We're committed to forging a more inclusive future. It's weird. Like, people love that word inclusive. What the fuck does that mean? If you ban people because of their political beliefs, it doesn't matter. Again, if you don't want the fringe to out there, first of all, you have to define that, which is really not easy. I mean, again, you can define it very strictly, but if you want to ban people that, that are on the other side of a political spectrum, which that's what this thing is a political and social echo chamber. Very well is. And that's the stupidest move you could ever make. Making that public, like Twitter, there was an open secret, as it were, it was a political and social echo chamber. Really bad before. It's still, when you're CEO now, they've adopted Twitter has adopted the freedom of speech, but not freedom of reach. I don't know if all of you know that. They've adopted it now. I was talking about it a while back because you had Elon Musk say that, which is basically shadow banning. Oh, well, you can post, but nobody sees it. That's shadow banning. That's a garbage move. Well, now they've adopted that as one of their mainstay slogans. Like their CEO came out and everybody's like blaming the CEO. I'm like, no, that's an old Elon statement. You know what you're talking about. But at least it's hidden under something. They obfuscate it somewhat. Spoutable doesn't even bother to try to hide that. And when you're trying to build a user base, you want to get everybody in there. But that's the problem of offering people a quote unquote safe space, I hate that idea, honestly. I hate those words, We see people, I've seen him shop, Bouzy shop that for the longest time. And I hate that because again, we're not talking about getting away from the worst of the worst. And again, somebody has to define that anyhow. We're talking about getting away from ideas that you don't like. And that could be someone not voting the same way as you, someone disagreeing on 1% of the world from you. Again, with these folks. But anyway, more inclusive future where our users are not just consumers, but also co-owners and contributors to our shared success. We'd like to know what you think. Note, let's see what the note is. Number 1, investment allocations would be structured to prevent any individual investor from acquiring a majority stake. That'd be really funny if somebody took it over and was like, fuck this, I'm shutting it down. Actually, anybody else in charge but Bouzy might actually run a good site. That's what Bouzy's afraid of, because ultimately, you know, the first thing I would do is be like, yo, Bouzy, take a hike. Because you know what, fucker, you're the reason that we're having problems. That would be my first move. Because ultimately, Bouzy is, you know, I would bring in the Doubtable crew. I would be like, yo, you guys come in, you turn on all of the features for this that you all know of. That would be my first move personally. But I mean, you know, what do I know, right? I do know that the growth rate of that is dead. So approximately 10% of the company's equity will be held by the community, preserving its core mission and cultural. What does that mean? What does that mean? Does that mean he's going to sell 10% to the community? He's going to withhold? I mean, what is that? That doesn't mean anything. He needs to define what the fuck that means, because 10% will be held by the community. Who's the community? Again, are you selling 10%? Is that what you're telling me there? To other people? Are you just dumping it in and saying spoutable loans? Because that doesn't mean anything. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Does somebody understand that? What does that mean? Fallen Hero, thanks for the gifted membership, by the way. Appreciate that. He is the community. Is that what that means? So no, see, yeah. So what it looks like, it says to me, I read it as he owns 90% of the freaking company, because he's going to be the majority shareholder. He's made that very clear. He will remain majority shareholder. So is he just selling 10%? Is he going to? You've seen this with a lot of companies, successful companies especially, but also you see scam companies do this. Actually, there have even been YouTubers to pull this bullshit. I saw a YouTuber that there's a video that called out a YouTuber that sold shares in their YouTube platform. You know, because well, their YouTube platform made money. They decided they had something like $50,000 that they owed a partner because they severed the site from them. You know, it just became theirs, and they sold off enough to make that $50,000. But you know, you can take 10% of something, and you can say, well, all right, just throwing out an absurd number here. You know, instead of 100 investors or whatever, you say, well, there's 10 billion shares. They're up for sale. It's like, wow, that's the whole company. No, that's just that's just the 10%, 10 billion shares. You just create absurdity there, and you've seen places do. Again, that's an absurd number, but places do that. I've seen a certain comic company do that at one time when they were falling apart, when they're failing. And the key here isn't the move. It's a desperation move where you're bilking money out of people, and usually the people that trust you the most. See, that's the ugliest thing, because there is no value added. People are not going to see if somebody sees money off of this besides Chris Bouzy or somebody else that's participating, you know, like if there's some equity sharing in the place of making money, I will be fucking shocked. I'll be like, oh my God. But I would like to see some real proof of that, by the way. But I would be fascinated in seeing a financial disclosure. So, you know, somebody owning like a share or two, so they have to give you financial disclosures. That might be fun. I'm not recommending you invest in this garbage, by the way. I'm just saying that would be fun times for me. Devil Doors, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Thuggets, by the way. Thank you for that. Yeah, penny stocks. That's exactly it. You know, when you got into to penny stocks, how many of you seen Wolf of Wall Street? You know, the con game that people pull for these companies that are worth absolutely nothing, but you convince people to invest in said company, pumping out garbage to them. The problem is here that this isn't somebody cold calling you. This is saying, hey, you know that thing? Because again, beyond the I can't stand the Hurdies. I actually can't stand again. I want to make this clear in the way. I want to make a distinction. Okay. I can't stand that Sussex squad people. Those Markle, those people are fucking crazy. Like they do some nasty stuff. If you are a fan of Meghan Markle, whatever, I don't care about that. That's not what I mean. But these hardcore people, man, they're crazy. They're fucking crazy. And they were promised, part of Spoutable. They were promised, this echo chamber, as it were. There can be no criticism of Heard, no criticism of Markle, but also you have just regular people that bought into buzzwords. They say, "Oh well, this is a black-owned community, or black ownership. It's going to be something to invest in here." And some people bought into that. They bought into the buzzwording hype. They thought that it would be less crazy. I mean, Twitter's crazy. It is. It's not a taste for everyone. I personally want social media like that. I want one that's like I want a title about it. I don't want to look at. I mean, if you post pictures of your dogs and cats, well, that's fine. It's cool. But I also sometimes just want to, laugh at somebody, tell them they're stupid. And that's a place that I can do that at. Spoutable, it has an echo chamber. Everybody's identical, and if they're not, they get kicked out pretty fast. So, but there were people who bought into that. So those people are going to get bilked for money, I think. And that's sad. Measures would be in place to prevent hostile takeovers or influenced by malevolent entities. It sounds like a haunting. I mean, really, malevolent entities. What does that mean, by the way? Like, what influences? Again, basically, he's saying you pay your money. We're still going to boot you, and whatever he decides goes, which won't fly, by the way. I mean, this is the way you get your ass sued. If you start playing this game and you start playing it at the same route, again, very well. I thought about calling this, again, the fall of Chris Bouzy, question mark, exclamation mark, because it's a question, That's what scam in the title here. Scam, question mark, exclamation. That's a question. It's pretty, but it's still a question. And it does. It looks very much like that. I would say it looks like a scam to me. I mean, again, somebody with the noted crypto pass. Somebody also that fucking the bot sentinel stuff. That was a scam and a half. That was an absolute scam and a half. That'd be like asking people to invest in bot sentinel. Hey, and number 4, a comprehensive financial audit of Spoutable is mandated by regulatory authorities for equity crowdfunding. That'll be fun. Like I said, that'll be fun. It'll be like, how much money does Spoutable actually own? Well, he keeps about 5 nickels inside of the microwave. You're like, that's not safe, Chris. Don't worry. I moved all of our savings to the oven. You're like, oh, yeah, okay. Good time, Kitchen Chris. So should Spoutable consider offering equity or ownership opportunities to its users? Yes, no, or I'm not sure. If Spoutable were to pursue rather, an equity crowdfunding campaign with a minimum investment of $100. So again, here's where you get into your minimums. So every time somebody quote unquote invests here, the minimum quote unquote opportunity for you too to own a board is Spoutable is $100 freaking dollars. Again, we're not talking like here's the difference in penny stocks. Penny stocks, yeah, you're talking about nothing rates. People could buy in, nothing. It was aimed at first it was aimed at just random Joe Blow. you know, and they could invest at whatever level. Give me a second. They wanted more, but here he's saying, your minimum opportunity on this, $100. I would. That's how you also you make a lot of money because you know he's only got 200,000 users or less than that, really. Now you figure, just to be honest, best case scenario, best case. I mean, in some crazed world, which is this is not going to happen, but let's just say in some amazing future world, he got a 5% follow through, which is not happening. You're talking probably a fraction of 1%. That's the reality. But let's just say, 5%, some miracle world that actually happened because there's so many hardcore people out there. Well, if you're having a tiny buy-in, that doesn't amount to anything. At a fraction of 1%, the reality of that, you're going to have to be picking up $100 or more because otherwise, like, how's he going to make any money? I mean, if he could convince 100 hardcore suckers to put in $1,000, he's made quite a bit of money. He walks away from this thing clean. He gains some money there. I imagine. See, Spoutable was built, again, $89 investment plus whatever it takes to house it. Servers aren't necessarily cheap. I'd be curious about what server costs and everything else are for him at the end of the day. I mean, not him saying it, by the way, not his book. I would be curious at the company that does it. I would be curious what the costs are because I wouldn't, as far as opening up the financial books, you got to trust the company that put it together. I would want an actual to the source audit to find out, yeah, this is what this stuff costs. But $100 each. Would any of you invest $100 in Kitchen Chris? Just curious. Would any of you invest in Spoutable? Do you think any of you? Here's a good way of asking this. Do any of you think that Spoutable? Seriously, I'm very well asking this. Not as a joke. I'm asking this. Do any of you think that Spoutable will ever actually make money? And I'm not talking about some private investor. I mean, you can say Kitchen Chris makes money because he picked up some private donation here or there. But as far as the site itself making money, does anybody believe that this thing can actually turn a profit? Oh, look at all the wonderful no's. I forgot there was a no, and yeah, there is a. I need a yes as an emoji as well. I forgot there was that giant no. Yeah, it could be bought by a larger site. I mean, that is possible. That was his aim. If you read that's what I took from the Wired article. So, but that doesn't look like it's happening. Again, if you can't get a big buyer to come in and swoop it up because this isn't the .com bubble, then here's the begging part. If you were a shareholder in Spoutable, if you actually had your money in, what? Oh no, here comes another bathroom freaking update. Here comes another bathroom update. I heard it yelling down. Do what now?
Don't be angry at me.
Do what now, baby? I can't understand you.
Are you going to get around with me?
Am I going to be what? Angry with you?
Yeah.
About what? About the bathroom?
Yeah, the poop on the toilet.
Sissy said she cleaned it up.
Yeah, I cleaned the carpet up.
She cleaned it up, so no. You did good. Yeah. Hey, do you want some more grapes? Hey,
I ate all of them.
Did you eat all those in the refrigerator? You didn't eat that whole bag, did you?
What?
Yeah, no, you ate that. Do you want some more?
Yeah, not yet. I don't want to.
Okay. Hey, you better go watch it. Are you ready for night-night?
No, it's Morning, Dad.
It's not morning. It's getting late. Are you ready for night-night?
No.
Well, you better go play with your stuff. You better go play for a little bit.
You have to.
She's like, you're going to be mad at me.
Give
me 5, though. Give me
I'm
5.
gonna kick you out now.
You will kick me out of the house, huh?
Yeah, Mom.
Hey, you can kick me out of the house. Give me 5. All right, go play. For real, go play. You better go upstairs and play. Nobody's mad at you. That's funny, though. She's like, you're going to be mad at me. All right. I'm still going to call you Raya. Thanks, Bob. Second. No. Hey, Elizabeth, will you show her for her remote and stuff? Make sure she's got everything.
Yeah, she had everything up there.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, a bunch of nuts. Norman, thank you for the $5. I'm still butchering your name. Are Bouzy's malevolent entities the same as Danny Boy's dark forces? That's a good question. That's a good question. You know, are they Dan Wooten's dark forces? Dreadnought, thanks for the vibe. Chris over here, hoping to cook up some more money. He's microwaving the nickels and roasting his savings in the oven. Chris is literally burning money. It does sound like it. It does sound desperate, does it not? You know, when he gets to the point of, if you were a shareholder, would you be inclined to use the site? And it's like, You know why? Because when you look at, again, if you look at Spoutable, and we can look at Spoutable, we can look at the traffic there. The traffic it's rough. You know, I mean, Bouzy, let's see. Bouzy he's killed his own site. He had interest in this thing. But okay, for this post here, okay, this is a big post for him, right? If you want to see how much interest, we'll come back to this in just a second. But if you want to see how much interest he actually has, how much traffic he can actually pull with this is Spoutable. Again, I'm looking in, I don't have a count here, right? But I'm looking in. All right, so here's the pinned post. And this is not a brand new post. It's been up for days, okay? I just haven't had a chance to cover this yet. This is a brand new thing. But if you look at this, oh, you gonna go? Oh, you're dragging?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a picture of it. We'll have to take a picture of it a little bit.
Yeah, but I made a paper dragon because I am tired of seeing paper dragons on my For You page and I can't make it.
She made a hand puppet paper dragon out of paper. It's cool looking. We'll have to take a picture of it later.
Also, I have a comic strip business, but here's a fair warning for whoever buys it. I don't draw all that good, so you've been warned.
You're a nut.
So that.
All right, go.
No refunds, and it's $20.
Oh, Lord. John thinks it's it. Tug, I didn't know. I know you don't get into politics, but recently a group known as NAGA, the Native Advocacy Group, made a statement that they would boycott the NFL over the Redskins name. Thoughts? We can talk about that at the end. Remind me. We'll talk about that at the end. Okay. So, what's the garbage can mean? What does that mean? What's the little garbage can mean? I don't know. Isn't that what that is? A garbage can? But if you look, I mean, it's got, okay, so this is retweets, comments. What's the garbage can? Oh, it's attachments. Oh my God. Their attachments are garbage cans? What is it supposed to be? Holy crap. Give me a second. I got to zoom in on this. Oh, Lord, I've not noticed that. Is that what that is? Is it got a little garbage can? Holy God, it is. It looks like a little garbage can. Look at this. So this is a 3-part thread, right? I guess that means it's connected. It means it's a thread. It's like, this is trash. Oh my God. What the dumbest thing ever. He took a recycling bin icon and he uses it because he has no idea what the fuck he's doing. Oh, it hurts me inside. Look at it. It's right there. That's got to be what it is because it's a three-parter, right? Here's this. It's got two connections. So, I mean, that's what else could it mean? Oh my God, I love it. Hey, Daddy's World. Thanks for the 2 bucks. Kids Candy Fun. They'll thank you. I appreciate it. They'll appreciate it too. Thank you. Cindy, thanks for the 9 months. Hot tug. Hey there. Oh my God. I can't believe that's real. Some days, man. Some days it's like, whoa. So anyway, I mean, you see this, my point, and before I got really distracted by that, was looking at the amount of traffic here. Again, this is the guy that all traffic funnels to. And what does he get on this? He gets 259 likes, 170 retweets, and 111 comments. I wonder what the comments look like, by the way. Oh, got to log in to see the people trashing that. Oh, I love it. Equity wouldn't make me active. That's funny because people are telling him, that wouldn't make me more active. That's what this is. We'll look at these answers in just a second after we go through it. But he didn't like some of these answers. Like he in fact deleted people's accounts for some, which got screenshot. So, there's going to be some stuff missing just to say. I love that. Oh, what's up, Dreadnought? Thanks for 5. Spoutable's only traffic is Bouzy and the bots. Yeah, sounds like a stupid boy band name. It does, doesn't it? Bouzy and the bots. That's terrible traffic. I mean, if you are you're the main guy, but at the same time, we've seen. So let's go back to the question here. Give me 1 minute. All right. If you were a shareholder in Spoutable, would you be more inclined to tell friends and family about the platform? So again, he's gone from, I got all of this attention in the mainstream, I have all of these people that have boosted my platform up, to begging people to buy in and hoping. I mean, honestly, I don't see him getting 100 people with that. I mean, just to be honest. I mean, he may land somebody that politically wants some kind of echo chamber themselves. But it'll be interesting. I really would like to see the outcome of this. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, how excited are you about becoming a shareholder in Spoutable? How excited are you, baby? Now this is what some of the early answering actually look like. Give me one step here. So you have people that, okay, I'm gonna pull this up and then we'll pull up what's on the site too. Okay. So the early answers, the ones that, I mean, again, he was policing statements off of the site itself. You would have people answering things like, I think this step's dangerously close to what you tried to avoid, being accountable to a major investor, which is not what he said, by the way. He didn't talk about non-accountability for a major investor. Again, if you read his interviews, it sounds very much like he wants to sell to a major investor. He wants to just sell off the platform, create something, create something, get the buzz behind it, and ditch. I mean, after you see people, a lot of people heard. I mean, we saw big names that wanted to duplicate the sales success of Twitter, because Twitter was bought for $44 billion. billion with a B dollars. I mean, that's major money. So of course, if you could, get a few million out of that, I mean, that's some major fundage. Wow, what's up, John? Thank you for 20 gifted memberships there. That's nuts. Thank you, my friend. That's awesome. That also, I think, knocks us into our new membership emojis, by the way. I think I can add more. I'm pretty sure that will knock us in there, because between today and yesterday, I think that knocks us in there. So that's cool. I have a few more. I actually, I talked to Peter Gilmore, and I was like, yo, dude, can you help me sign? Like, when I put them up, like, I make a mess of everything. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing with this. Can you help me out and make sure that this stuff gets sized? Contract him for work. Like, everything obviously is paid. It's not, hey, buddy, can you help me for free? It's paid work. So, just to say, I want to make that clear. I do pay people when they work for me. But he was like, yeah. And Peter Gilmore's good too. If you ever have if you run a channel or you want to create merchandise, he does it for a good price too. He's not going to like bilk you or try to rip you off. If you hear me playing, like, by the way, if you can hear clicking in there, so this is I know this guy who cleans out homes and stuff, and he found, and I'm looking at this thing now, he found a cap and ball gun. The old West guns, they don't have bullets. You have to put a little cap in them. You have to put a ball in there and like use a ramrod and knock it down. He found one of those. I'm sure it's a replica. It looks like a replica, but still it's fun. I've never messed with one. So I'm messing with it. Obviously it does not work. There's nothing in there that can fire. But I'm looking at it, cleaning it out and stuff. So if you hear it clicking like that noise, that's what I'm messing with. Yeah. But anyway, so you see, people, I'm not against fundraising campaigns, but if you start getting large investors, you will start to having people demand they get more say in the company and accountability to a smaller group. And again, these are people that are getting like 20 likes, and he's got there are limits. I cannot fund Spoutable on donations and my private savings indefinitely. So he's telling you, we're not making any money. That's his push anyway. He's saying we're donation funded, and I'm funding it out of pocket. And I wonder, this would be curious. I wonder if he got funding from some political entities out there. Just to be honest, I wonder if he got funding because, he got a lot of his success. I wonder if the Essex, again, the Essex squad, Sussex. I said Essex, Sussex squad. Sorry, it's living here. I mean, I might as well be saying the plot on the moon, from where I live. So, but the Sussex squad, those folks, I'm sure they probably invested. I'm sure the Hurdies, they invested, pocket lint and pipe dreams. I'm not sure if they have any money. They sent on Twitter begging for freaking coffees, so I'm really not sure, but just assume they did. And I wonder if there were some big political donors because his whole thing, what really boosted him and let him take it to get all that mainstream love was politics. It was. I mean, he figured out how to get into that. That's been the thing that has kept his diehard supporter base. They have been politically based. They are. It's something Andrew Goldman were talking about. When we talk about Dan Wooten, and we talked about that and any other accusations. It's anything. It is so polarized that if you bring up questions about the legitimacy of anything, it's like, oh, how dare you bring that up? Or, yeah, this person's trash. There is no middle ground, with a lot of stuff. And it's the same way with Bouzy. Although Bouzy has a heavy background, he's not an unknown commodity. He is somebody that is definitely known. John, thanks for the fun. I think that's a yeah. I will look at it in a few minutes. Okay.
Don't.
Oh, don't.
It's so yucky in there.
It's so yeah. Okay. Well, go. You need to go upstairs, kiddo. Okay.
I have wet shot wet.
Well, Lord. Oh my God. Give me 1 minute.
Yeah, pee on me.
Give me a minute.
Yeah.
Will you help her, Elizabeth?
Sure. Pee on me. I am not happy.
Oh my God. She's just trying to change pull-ups. She's like, I got something on me. Oh my God. Holy God. I was like, I can't live stream. That's why I told her pause. I was like, hey, can you help her? I can't live stream like this. She's like, I got some bee on me. Oh my God. They're killing me. It's not a bad day. It's like I can't freaking stop laughing about this stupid stuff. Oh my God. John, thanks for the vibe. I think that's the like Revolutionary War era firearms, muskets, Civil War times. No, I'm talking about like pistols where you have on the back, you still have a revolver, but on the back, we're not talking like a powder gun, but you put a little percussion cap on the cylinder on the side that faces the hammer, and then you shove like a ball wrapped in cloth. You have a little ramrod on there, pushes it down, like that kind of gun. Yeah, I could have been more clear about that. That's my bad. Dreadnought, thanks for 5. Don't miss out on Bouzy and the Bot's new hit album, Spouting Off. Songs include Listen and Believe, indeed. Listen and Believe. Cancel Circus, Safe Space, and a new hit single, We Suck, but give us your money anyways. Indeed. That'd be a great album, actually. Bouzy and the Poser. I mean, the Bots. Let's look at a new one. This is not an option for me, Chris. I fear what others have said. People dedicated to destroying Spoutable will quickly buy shares and take this wonderful site down to the level of the former Twitter. I'd rather see ads than shared equity. And again, you notice he's responding to this stuff despite 4 likes on it. 4. Explain how that could happen with me. So this talks about the money thing a little bit more. Me owning the majority. The community will own approximately 10% of the company, and I believe the max anyone can legally invest is 25 grand. So he's hoping that some people go in there and invest $25,000 in his shitty little company. I'm wondering, at 10%, at $100 a pop, what are you owning? If he's expecting multiple buy-ins at $25,000 potentially, how far are you going to take this? How much are you going to chop this freaking company up and sell it to the idiots out there? And that's the thing too. If you own a fraction of a fraction of a percentage, 10%. And you own a fraction of that. How do you ever recoup money, even if it made money? Because it's like this. Okay, say there's 100% there, right? You make $100. Well, that sounds nice, right? Only you own a fraction of 1%. What are you making? A piece of a penny? How would you ever make money? This site will never make money to ever recoup that kind of investment. There is no way. There are too many sites. This is a Twitter clone. Like we saw Zuckerberg. He had Threads. So Threads, I thought Threads was absolutely garbage, but Threads at least had an instant user base with Instagram. It ported over easily. And for those first few weeks, it blew up. But it was still more, it was less restrictive than this, I'm going to say. It was less restrictive than Spoutable would be. Zuckerberg isn't setting on Spoutable like banning you, if you make fun of the Zuck, right? But It's even on the decline. So how in the hell would you make this thing make money? I can't see it ever working, you know? And you'd see people, you know, oh, well, they're making these statements here. And guess what's happening? Look at what's happening through the thread there. Chris Bouzy's removing, and he's banning people too. He's taking down, you know, there's people that have been, they've been noting what their concerns are. He's just taking them down. So it's funny. He's like, hey, you know, I want your ideas. No, he was hoping he can present this as something. And it can be like, oh, we had a major response to this. There are a lot of people that are really talking. In fact, I'm going to go talk about this on Twitter because nobody gives a shit when I say on Spoutable. People like stuff for free. Investment though, no. So let's go look at the commentary again. When this if this goes the way that it very potentially will, if people like, if their hardcore supporters find that they can't make any money on a get rich quick scheme, they're not going to be happy. So let's see what they say. I'll only say this: you have very strong boundaries. Don't deviate. You wouldn't let entitled users. Entitled users. Let's see. Just a thought for the equity survey. The answers for questions about equity. If equity would make you more or less likely to use, basically, seem pretty limited. I haven't been extremely active on Spoutable to this point because I was detoxing from deleting my Twitter account. But equity wouldn't make me more active here. That's a choice that I've made for myself starting today. Similarly, I've already recommended Spoutable to friends, family, etc., etc. But I'm not going to start mass inviting my Facebook friends. So they're like, no, I'm not going to, I've already told people to come here, but I'm not going to mass invite or do anything like that. There's no way in hell. One of the most useful features of the bird was that you could follow somebody, but mute them if their content overlapped others you follow. Nobody's feelings would get hurt. Oh, people want a mute option. They're like, you don't even have enough options there. Did this person get suspended? Is that what it is? I mean, it's over and over again. Look at this. Removed. It looks like they were banned. There's a ban. I was like, is that somebody that's trolling? No, that's a ban. That's an actual ban. So somebody answered and they said, you know, they probably gave a multiple part answer. Or they gave different answer. Again, we've seen this a few times. We've seen this on rules. We saw this with the delete button. We've seen this with people disagreeing in any way, shape, or form. You don't walk lockstep with old Kitchen Chris. He's going to ban your ass. I'd be very interested in advertising on small business creative platform, a creative friendly platform. Who would you advertise to? Why would you fucking do that? Oh, wait, here's another one. Banned. There's another one. Go back to water. Look. Oh, this person, they're banned. Whatever they were doing, or if they were spamming, who knows? They're still gone. I've been doing a voluntary monthly donation. I hope that if enough of us do that, we can prevent advertising from being necessary. Same. And not enough for Chris. Chris is never going to be enough, dude. So you got the, wow, man, you got 8 likes off of that. Good job, Harry. I'm glad you didn't donate into a place. Basically, it's like the retirement home. You know, I mean, really, and that's not an age comment about people. That's where freaking social media goes to retire. Why? Because nobody gives a shit. It's like the rest home for your tweets. I mean, if you want to sit around and talk to yourself, and you do see people like that, by the way. You'll see people, you see them on Twitter all the time that don't want interaction. They just want to they want to snark about stuff and things, but they can't stand interaction. So maybe that's the perfect place for it. Yeah, you got your money. That your money's on.
I got 15 now. I used to have 20 until I lost the first 5.
Lost it?
Yeah. It's either at Gigi's house or in my bag.
Well, why don't you go check your bag if you got $5 floating around?
Okay, so I'm going to check my bag, make sure.
Here's $1. Put it in there. I don't have very much in my wallet. She's showing off her money.
I want to buy something from eBay later.
You want to buy what?
Something from eBay or Amazon.
From eBay or Amazon? Oh, is that why you're coming to me with money?
Yeah.
Here's another one like, oh man, it's the same, worth it. The $5 a month club. Here's another one giving $5. I wonder how much money he gets a month like that. Would anyone in any country be able to buy in? It's $100 minimum. Oh, here's somebody putting their faith in Bouzy. Well, I'm guessing once the surveys come in, the legalities, that'll get worked out. The crowdfunding idea would be more attractive if the 10% stake is carved out, so it's protected from being washed out by future investments. That's exactly it. See, here's somebody that's like, yeah, it would be optically nice if Spoutable becomes a benefit corporation too. It'd also be awesome if Spoutable could plug into Brave's ad revenue share ecosystem. Yeah, I don't know if they would they're good with that or not. I guess maybe any company could if they wanted to. If you get traction through Brave. But yeah, I mean, there's the thing.
My grandma's house.
Huh?
I think I left down my grandma's house.
Okay, well, we can call her and ask her. You want to later? All right. You think about what you want to get though. Here, let me stream for a few more minutes. Okay.
Oxall, because that's very obvious.
Clears mud. What's up? Thanks for the fun there. 10% of the kitchen is it's a quarter cupboard. Yeah, there you go. The cat flap, the recycling, and the bin. Exactly. Chris keeps control of the toaster. Love you, Tug. Much love back to you. And indeed. Is that the plan? He's like, as long as he's like, every other week he gets the oven and the microwave and the chair. He needs the table too. But no, I mean, 10%. That's the whole thing. Like you can go in and decide to further reduce people's share in a company by doing another. You can go and create more stocks. Again, we've seen this with giant companies. When you want to force somebody out, or you want to make their stake, and again, you can get into some major litigation because of stuff like that too. I mean, but the thing is, we're not even talking the litigation aspect. I mean, the potential. This is stuff I wouldn't put past Bouzy. That's just, I can't. So Tanya, thanks to Tanya. She has £5 for me earlier, Tug. You missed it. Hey, sorry about that. Thank you for that too. I'll roll back and see there. Awesome. Yeah. Well, when we go on, like too, just a note, when she's talking about stuff, like if we were, I don't, I like I don't like allowance per se. I do like because there's more. There's defined things, and then there's you've been helping out. Like she helps out all the time. She helps out with her sister and all kinds of other stuff. So, I definitely try to make sure she doesn't she'll ask for free, hey, I've got some tablet time. Can I get a free app? Yeah, let's see if it's got in-app purchases or anything like that. But yeah, we definitely do that too. And I'll check that in just a minute. Thank you too. Let's see. Here's another suspended account. So there's 3 suspended accounts for sure when they've gone in. Oh. The questions are very narrow. I couldn't invest $100, but I do my little bit by donating $10 each month. So here's a 4th person asking if I would use it more as an investor. Is irrelevant. I use it several times a day. That wouldn't change. These people don't look at it correctly. What they look at it is they're $10 or $5 a month. They're not appreciated in that because it's not enough money. And their 1 or 2 tweets a day spouts a day. My bad. It's totally not Twitter clone, right? The 2 or 3 spouts a day don't really amount to anything. I mean, that's just a rude reality in it. He also can't market. Okay, so here's another thing too. He's been shopping Bot Sentinel, because Bot Sentinel was always a moneymaker for him, I'm sure. He had all this love coming in. That's why he still says Bot Sentinel's not dead, right? He tells people, "Oh, Bot Sentinel, it's not dead. It's not." Maybe he plugged it into Spoutable or something, because I did notice something. Here, let me show you this real fast. So Bot Sentinel, like I said, it used to be a big money maker for him. And now, though, it's very much a dead site. Now, he argues that and says it's not. It's still functional. How the fuck is this functional? Now, I did notice this. Like I said, he's got minimal numbers. Like across here, there's like 50-something accounts that have been noted for today. I wonder if he plugged it into Spoutable or something so it doesn't look dead, because he can't plug into the API for Twitter. That's gone. So they're not judging thousands and thousands of accounts a day or whatever. And they haven't been able to do that for a while now. I mean, if you look here, April 28th, that was the last time they were actually able to track hashtags or anything. So Spoutable's dead. So that money that he was just getting pretty much for free, because all he was doing was they would plug in some hashtags. They would assign a social score, a social metric to people's accounts, determined off of what hashtags that they utilize. And you see, the things that it's ridiculous. Some of the alerts here, like how ridiculous. If you want to see how ridiculous this is, look at the last ones, how it didn't work. Okay, pretty amazing was trending. That's an alert. Oh my God. Follow back. Oh no, not follow back. And so on. Gain followers. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? That is totally unsafe. But he did plug into something. And if he announced, hey man, I've plugged into Spoutable, that looks really bad. Are you telling me you only got 50 users today? That's really bad. That's a dead site. That is an absolutely dead site. Like something that big, supposedly. So let's finish up the comments here. I want to just see all the rest of them. There's not very many left. Then I want to show you a couple more things. Oh, here's one. I would be a shareholder. Here's another banned one. There's a 4th. Not saying I'd want to buy verification, but verification be a perk. Can get you could get verified if you were verified under the old Twitter rules, which is fascinating too, because Twitter supposedly a cesspool. This was a Twitter alternative, even from old Twitter, but they want to carry over stuff because they want to bring in some of those. Maybe that's why they use the icon that they did, because they're hoping to land a whale. Maybe that's what all that really means. Not sure. What's up, Steph? Thanks for the 49 and some popcorn. Yeah, this is, it's fascinating stuff. Again, Let's see if there's anything else there. I'm not going to ask you how much you need to raise, as paying for service can be expensive, but have you considered offering premium features? He doesn't even know how to use the basic features, fuckers. Like, that's the problem. He's such an idiot. Like, again, the doubtable fee. They put together a spoof site at first. Now they kept it running. They're having fun with it, goofing off. But Doubtable was set up as it's just a joke, really, at first. And they they have more, they have sharing that this platform is not, it's not able to do. They have other features that they understand, many features. Like, I've been shown a couple things that I thought were interesting. I'm not going to note any of that, but I thought there were some fascinating stuff that even Kitchen Chris, he doesn't understand. He doesn't know about, and he's supposed to be the one that knows all of this. So some people in their free time got together and were like, "Hey, we're going to get the same $89 deal, only we're going to turn it into something functional. And we're going to have fun with it too." I mean, that to me, that's hilarious. But I'm in for a C note. I was with the earliest days of Bond. I wonder how many of these are Chris, by the way. I wonder. That's all. That's all he got from that. He's the owner of the freaking site. And that's all he can get. I mean, again, if that's not a cautionary tale for people, I don't know what would be. I mean, just to be honest, because again, you look at the numbers, and Freya notes. Let me pull this up. Props Freya, by the way. Give some love here. Give me a second. Freya notes the risks of equity crowdfunding. This is something, again, all those quote unquote trolls have been constantly and consistently reminding you that Bouzy's a fraud, reminding you of his history. Well, if you don't listen, you're about to take a ride. So, risk of equity crowdfunding, greater risk of failure. A business that has been capitalized through equity crowdfunding arguably runs a greater risk of failure than one that has been funded through venture capital or other traditional means that offers seasoned professionals to help steer a startup through the early development challenges. They've already had that. And, one of the major development challenges for Spoutable is Chris Bouzy. I mean, just ultimately, that is one of the major challenges there. The success of the business cannot be assured merely by funding. Without an adequate business plan and support structure, even promising ventures fail. Fraud. Online forums and social media are ideally suited for equity crowdfunding because they offer wide reach, scalability, convenience, and ease of record keeping. But these very features also make it easy for scammers to set up dubious ventures to attract equity crowdfunding from naive or first-time investors. Do your due diligence. And again, there are many red flags with Chris Bouzy that should make people ask the question, So anyway, I thought this was fascinating. It was an interesting little turn of events for Spoutable. Again, the platform that said that it will not go the way that it is. It promised its users in the beginning that it would basically create them an echo chamber. They could trust the person that was in charge. They would never steer them wrong or more. And now look at where they are. I mean, again, what could they do with that? Give me 1 second here. Mashed Potato Goblin, I missed your super chat there. Sounds like Bouzy needs rent money again. It does indeed. It does. John said too, Threads dying. Or Threads is trash dying already. It is. Threads is a mess. Threads died. Threads is boring. And if Threads is more exciting than Spoutable. So if that says anything, and I think it does, I think it says, man, you need to watch where that goes. Tanya, thanks for the fine there. Reward for for dealing with the bathroom issues for baby and girl, good sweet girl. Yeah, our good girl, sweetie, rather. Yeah, she does that kind of stuff. She helps out her sister all the time. She is. She's a really nice kid. Yeah. She helps out Dad too, with all the craziness that comes up. But anyway, all right. Well, I think I'll end here. I think it's a good place. I think we had a fun live stream. I think we talked about some craziness. Yeah, we'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow I may cover that. There's two things. I got a hold of the hit list of people that came out 2 days before the Netflix stuff started really getting pushed. I may go over that hit list. Again, it says some nasty things about some people. I'll have to redact some stuff because it doxes and everything else. It's nasty business. But yeah, it might be fun. Or we might go through the Barlow one. So we'll see. But anyway, I appreciate you folks. It's been a fun ride. We'll do it again maybe tomorrow.